Are you a runner? I'm not talking about the healthy, fit kind of running. I'm talking about the avoidance kind of running. Do you tend to avoid a problem? Whether it's a difficult conversation that must be had, putting off that project that needs to be taken care of, solving a difficult problem such as staying at or leaving your current profession, difficult questions, difficult people, difficult relationships, big projects, procrastination. Is avoidance your tactic of choice? Problem with avoidance of your secrets, of your issues, of things that need to be done, is that sooner or later it catches up with you. You feel like you're running away from it through avoidance, but you're not making any distance. It's more like you're standing still and it's going from a molehill to a mountain, and it's catching up to you, and it will catch up to you as a landslide. The longer that you avoid something you need to do, something you need to say, something you need to address, something you need to come clean about. Avoidance is a tactic often backfires on us because what's done in the darkness comes out in the light. And as you're standing still, not pretending nothing is going on, the problem is getting bigger. The time to deal with the problem is getting shorter, which is making the problem bigger, or the problem itself is getting worse through neglecting addressing it, or the emotional devastation of living in a situation, or with a secret, or with something that is burdening you, is getting worse. You have to break away from avoidance as a way of dealing with difficult conversations. You just avoid a subject altogether. You tiptoe around it and you don't address it. You avoid dealing with personal issues that you have to deal with. You avoid tackling projects. You just avoid. You get nowhere in life when you avoid. And oftentimes you wind up with a far worse problem than the one you were trying to avoid to begin with. And it does catch up to you. And you end up in a worse situation with a worse problem that you can't avoid landing right on top of you. Sometimes publicly humiliating you. So try to address it, whatever it is that you've been avoiding. At least take a look at it. Take a think on it. Take out a piece of paper and a pencil or pen or your little electronic device and write down some thoughts. Begin to think about it. And do journaling on the subject, and maybe you'll come to some ideas about ways to address it. Begin by considering addressing it, thinking on it, looking at it directly, making pros and cons lists, and then start with baby steps to just start the ball rolling in that direction that you want and you need to address the problem. You don't have to tackle it all at once, but you cannot avoid it. It will catch up to you in one way or another, and you'll be the worse for it. Avoidance is a tactic of passive people. If you're passive in this department of your life, you're probably passive overall, and you may have self-esteem problems. When you begin addressing the things, especially the big elephants in the room, the big problems, the big issues, the big obstacles, and you begin to deal with them, you'll begin to be more trusting in your own decision-making power. and build self-confidence in your ability to tackle your own life, and you will avoid less and less. The less that you avoid, the less you will avoid. So try to address avoidance as a tactic to life. It never works. It always catches up with you. And in the end, you feel worse for it. So try to deal with the things head on. And you can begin by just writing about it. Good morning. Goodbye.